Thank you to SnakeStone97 for their generous donation as a YouTube member. Hello everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the Trained Unprofessional, and welcome to Winds of Change. The sun shines through the window illuminating the room. I can see how covered in dust everything is. Overnight patrons must be a rare. As I scan the room, I notice an entire section is dust-free. Fortame is cleaning. Leave it to him to fucking clean.
Hey, good morning, Seer. I saw all this dust and couldn't help myself. Sure, it lost me a few hours of sleep, but I don't care. How about you? How did you sleep?
Like a rock, I felt great.
Awesome. We need all the energy we can get. By the way,
oh, my dumbass, I fucking lied to him.
Something about skipping breakfast?
I just fucking lied to him. You know what? No. Didn't really sleep, to be honest. He has to know.
I don't blame you. The beds at home are a lot more comfortable. I heard Ulrich talking outside. We're skipping breakfast.
We're skipping breakfast? Fuck that.
When we're all ready, we're heading to Mazeo. I think you can tell what I'm planning, right? We'll finally be able to share some apples.
Yay, share us some apples. He smiles and his ears perk up. Skipping breakfast didn't sound all too appealing. But I'm sure Mazeo would have no shortage of cuisine. Someone knocks on the door to the room a few times. After hearing no objections, they slowly enter the room. It's Valessa, and she lets out a loud yawn before speaking.
Oh, hey, Fortune. I was gonna look for you too. Glad to know I didn't end up wasting time.
Yeah.
Morning, Valessa. Sleep well?
I suppose so, all things considered. There's a whole host of questions I want to ask. As soon as we meet Dominic, I expect to get answers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hopefully as the Elder, I can get him to talk. It's a bit different when it's a political ally asking.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, I guess. Maybe I'll give you my list or something. Then it'll be a matter of Mazeo-Valenworth relations.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea, actually. Either way, I expect to know a lot more in a few days. I can't wait to meet Dominic and the rest of the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to go? Ulrich and Pro are waiting out front. I guess the outlook is pretty close to Peregrino.
Well, that's convenient.
I'm good. Unless there's something else we need to do.
Like what? The fuck else we gotta do? They both look at me. I guess it's my choice. It might be a good chance to get some private time with my friends. But Ulrich and Pro could get impatient if we waste time chatting in Peregrino. Either way, I know one thing for certain. I shouldn't tell them what happened. The triumvirate taking me into their chambers, and personally, would they even believe me? I should let it process for a bit longer and see if it happens again before telling anybody. That's a bad idea! That's a stupid fucking idea! I pause and they await my next move. Assess Fortame heart-to-heart number 1. Hell yeah! Looks like something is bothering Fortame. Oh my. I approach him and decide to ask what's on his mind. He seems a little startled, like he was indeed lost in thought.
Oh, hey there, Seer. What's wrong? Nothing, really. I'm just thinking about, well, everything.
Yeah?
This will be the last time we see Peregrino. When and if we come back, it'll be a barracks. I know that's what I wanted, but I had fun here. I'm just thinking about the future a lot.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out how to make you proud. As Elder, I mean. Just give me some time to figure stuff out. Then I'll shine. It's not like I can fully adapt to being our leader in one night.
He gave me a nervous laugh before shuffling awkwardly. There's something else on his mind, I can tell. But it's not my place to pry, so I wait for him to speak.
Thanks for letting me sleep here with you, by the way. It helped me process things in my head a little bit more. If it weren't for that, I would have been too scared to think.
Yaw.
Like, what if they attacked in the middle of the night? We all know they'd have to pass by Peregrino first. I was honestly scared we might die here last night.
Ooh.
So yeah, thanks a million.
A million.
But there's one more thing I want to say. Last night, I had a really bad dream.
Oh no, a bad dream.
We were making our way down toward Mazeo.
Making our way
but
downtown.
We weren't with Pro and Ulrich. It was our parents. I kept telling them not to go. I knew they wouldn't come back.
He clenches his fist and trembles slightly.
But they didn't listen. They just kept going. I ran until my legs could barely move, and then I ran even more. It actually felt like I could save them, if I only tried. Eventually, we made it to the gates of Mazeo. Or at least I think they were. I've never actually been there. But this is the worst part. They finally turned to face us. And that's when I realized something shocking. I don't remember what my parents looked like, Seer. Their faces were a blur, almost like they were nobody. They started to speak, but I didn't recognize their voices. Has it been so long that I'm forgetting my own parents? I tried so hard to picture them when I woke up. I couldn't. When they died, everyone told me they weren't really gone, that they'd live on forever, inside of my memory. But even that's fading, Seer. What happens next? Back at the Grand Tree, I said I wanted vengeance. I wanted to take down the Triumvirate to avenge our parents. But this dream was kind of like a wake-up call, you know? Why should I fight for something that doesn't exist? And better yet, something I can't even picture in my head. There are so many reasons to fight, all of them less selfish. So, I think I want to fight for you. I want to make sure that you're safe and you survive this. When it comes to you, the entirety of Alestia is at stake.
He continues to tremble, and I can tell he's fighting back tears. It's almost like this dream is helping him move on from his parents. He's becoming more grounded in reality, in the here and now. Hug and console him! Hug the man! Take a few steps forward and wrap my arms around him. He gasps and gasps in surprise, and I notice his trembling comes to a halt. A few moments later, I feel his arms return the hug, squeezing tight.
I just miss them so much.
He sniffles softly, like he overcame his imminent tears.
At the end of the dream, when they turned back, I ran toward them and tried to hug them one more time. But I didn't feel anything when I did, and the dream ended. But right now, I'm definitely feeling something, and I know this won't end. I know you're not going anywhere.
He hugs me tighter, and I do so as well.
This is what I need to fight for. The things that are right in front of me, the things that matter, and the things I cherish.
I nod and let our embrace continue. It seems to last forever, but I don't mind. I'd let it last as long as it needs to, for Fortam. God damn! When they say heart to heart, they fucking mean it. Alright, let's talk to Valessa. Alright, Valessa, let's do this. Valessa is walking from one end of the room to the other. She looks annoyed. It could be any number of things, but I decided to talk to her and figure things out. As soon as I approach her, she stops in her tracks and lets out an exasperated sigh.
I can't believe Fortum is in charge now. No offense. My vision for the future of Valenworth was just so clear. But now, everything is changing. It's not home anymore.
Yes, it fucking is.
That is, if we can even find a way to save it. You know, reconnecting with the spirits or whatever. I'm starting to think that's quite the tall order.
Yes, it's a fucking tall order.
I'm not saying it'd be any simpler if you chose me. It's just... Never mind. I actually don't know what I'm saying. Whatever comes to mind seems to be coming out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for rambling on. It's just a lot to take in. But being able to talk about it definitely helps. Thanks, Seer. At the end of the day, being able to confide in you is great.
It's great. Yeah. Of course, we'll handle everything together. Together. She blushes and rubs the back of her head with her hand, shuttling awkwardly in place. I can tell she's flattered.
That's good to hear, Seer. Nobody should go through this stuff alone. It's a lot better, feeling like I'm part of a team.
She seems to disregard my advance, so I decide to back off. Perhaps the timing was imperfect. I could always try again later.
Let's not get too far off track, alright?
Yeah, it's hard to get a read on her next expression, but she shuffles about some more. Taking a few steps away from me, she rests her back against the wall. I step closer towards her, inching ourselves away from Fortame.
What am I going to do? From this point forward, your visions are very important.
They weren't important before?
I doubt that last night's vision will be the last one you have. Especially now that this blade is involved in everything.
Wait a minute. Last night's vision? Oh, is she very confused?
We need to make an important decision here. Do we involve the rest of Valestia with this stuff? Or do we keep the visions to ourselves, like always? If we start to serve them with our visions, they'll be dependent. After this war is over, they could expect us to keep helping out. Or even worse, people with ill intent could force us to help.
They could try.
Should we keep our roles as secret as possible? Or should we openly tell everybody who we are? This is the first time a seer has left Valinor. We're making history. But what kind of history do we make?
There's no reason to hide our identities, or you're right, we should only tell our close. There's no reason to hide our identities!
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
The world is full of horrible people, you know. We can't trust that everybody will be on our side, even if they act like it. They could just be using us. I'd say I trust our judgment, but I'm not so sure.
People like that are experts, trained liars.
I can play along, so it doesn't seem like I'm hiding anything. But the moment someone rubs me the wrong way, I'll tell you. Better to stay on our toes. Otherwise, they'd trample all over us. Thanks for giving me your advice here. It's good to have some direction. I was feeling lost. I'm glad to know we can keep working together like this.
Okay, it's not... Well, I know we've been choosing the flirty option for everyone all the time, every time. Doesn't feel appropriate right now. The majority has spoken. We shall just be nice.
And I'm glad we can rise to the challenge. That's good. Something tells me there'll be more challenges to come. But as long as we band together and talk it out, we can do this.
With a wide smile, I can sense a newfound determination within her. Something is there. Something that wasn't there the moment we began talking.
Let's get things moving, alright? Like I said, I have a better sense of direction now. Or at the very least, my mind is more clear. That's all I needed.
Letting out a loud sigh, she starts to walk away. I'm glad I decided to reach out to her like this. A clouded mind could affect her performance. If we wanted to win this, everyone would need to be resolute. I shouldn't miss any opportunity to bond with my friends and comrades. Their survival in future would directly relate to their morale. To the Outlook we go. After a trek that was longer than expected, we finally reached the Outlook. There was a long uphill walk, so my legs were strained and tired. That, along with my lack of sleep, was an unfortunate combination.
Well, here we are. Samira told me you've never been. Take a look down there. What do you think?
I think it looks like grass. He lets out a soft laugh like he's anticipating our reaction. After a few more steps, we reach the high ground and everything comes into view. The scope of our world and just how small Valinor really was finally dawned upon me.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude, check it out! What? Holy shit!
That's amazing!
Alright. They stop to catch their breath as they run up the hill in excitement. We can see the entirety of Mazeo, and it looks so tiny from up here. But I know it's much larger than Valinor, so this is hard to comprehend.
That's Mazeo?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably reach it in a few more hours. But take a while to enjoy the view. It's really something else. And it's not like we'll be coming back here anytime soon, right?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pro takes a few steps forward, writing in some kind of journal. He watches Ulrich not even needing to stare at the paper as he wrote.
And so, Ulrich stood at the entrance of the world, enthralled by its beauty. It would seem that his dreams for the future were no less grand than the sight before him. With comrades in tow, they took in the sight together, an unspoken bond slowly forming.
Yeah, right.
The bond won't last much longer if you keep that up, Pro.
Yikes! It's not like this is my job or anything. You know I'm trying to record all the important moments.
You must be grasping at straws if you're writing about me then. Focus on the seer or something. This is the start of his journey.
Or maybe you could focus on this.
Huh?
Ha! We all turn to Fortame, and he's holding out his hands. Inside of the cup he's formed within them rests a single crimson leaf. A breeze flows through the area, sending a chill through all of us. Immediately we turn towards Valinor in awe of what we see. The blood leaves are falling, making their journey through the sky. Carried by the chilling wind, they find their way down to the mainland.
Wow.
This shouldn't be happening, right? The blood leaves don't fall at this time of year.
Uh-oh.
He's right, everyone. Normally it's too warm for them to wilt and fall. I know what this means. Valinor is starting to die.
Oh shit, it's almost like leaving the thing that has all the spirit, taking the thing that has all the spirit power out of Valinor is fucking with everything.
You mean because of the dim spirit idol?
I thought it said the damn spirit idol for a second. That damn spirit idol.
Didn't think it would happen so fast. We need to hurry. If we don't do something, our home will...
Ulrich steps forward and rests a hand on Valessa's tits!
Don't worry. We'll figure out a way to save your village. We are saving Alestia, and that includes Valinor.
Hell yeah. She nods and we turn back to stare down at the mainland. For a moment, the falling of the blood leaves was a more beautiful sight. But this was a blessing, and perhaps a portend of bad things to come. Pro remains silent but continues writing in his notebook. Surely this would give him enough material to keep busy for a while. I look at Valessa and Fortame and they give me nervous smiles.
Are you ready, Seer? I guess this is where things truly begin.
Finally, we've made it out of the prologue. Yeah, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins, am I right?
We can do this. I'm stronger for having you by my side.
Hell yeah, motherfucker! Ulrich takes a few steps back, letting us have a moment. He knew the importance. He knew how important this was to the three of us. Just the three of us. We can make it if we try. Just the three of us. You and I. You and I should say. It was perhaps the biggest moment of our lives.
So, this is it, huh?
It is, if we just fucking go already. She lets go of the blood leaves she held in her hand. The gust of wind from behind us helps them sail down to Mazeo.
Now, it's our turn.
Hell yeah. I noticed Fortame wipe his eyes on his forehead. Was he crying? You little bitch. It's probably not best to point out, but I don't want to embarrass him. He clenches his fists and looks to the sky with closed eyes.
I wish you could be here with us.
Aww.
Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I'll make you proud.
I can't make fun of that. He turns to us and smiles. Ulrich can tell that the moment is over. Without saying anything, he starts walking down the outlook. From what I can see, a trail takes us all the way to Mazeo. This is it. This was the moment our journey began.
As a group, we headed down to Mazeo, with our resolve peaked. In that moment, it seemed like our goal was both clear and within our grasp. However, Mazeo would soon prove how wrong and naive we truly were.
Fuck, that's goddamn ominous. Parallel Chronicle The Triumvirate. The Triumvirate gathered in their chambers near the glowing idol. With a faint smile on their faces, they gazed deep into its corruption. As nobody else was in sight, they had no need to keep up appearances.
It appears that things have finally begun. Did you have your audience with the seer, Master?
Triumvir.
Yes, indeed. It went just as planned. Doubt is a very powerful weapon. When wielded properly, you are right. Thankfully, we have lots of practice. Perhaps too much? Or at the very least, not enough. But we've waited longer in the past.
One of the triumvirs lowers their hood. Taking a deep breath, they sigh in relief.
So, you think this is the end?
Oh my god, that's evil. Evil, evil, evil. Ah! The other triumvir follows in turn, lowering his hood. However, the master chooses not to do the same.
I suppose that rests with the seer. Let us watch and see what unfolds.
Holy shit! Oh my god! As we take our first steps away from Valinor, I make note of my surroundings. Not much has changed, yet in my heart I can feel an indescribable difference. Crimson leaves litter the ground, remnants of the earlier spectacle.
Wow, they look pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
It was definitely a nice send-off. I just hope that the Mazeans aren't afraid.
Why would they be afraid?
You retain knowledge from any books you've read. Ah! Ha ha! Makes sense. Now it actually seems like fucking the books are important. Many Alestians see it as an ill omen.
Really? But they're just leaves.
Motherfucker!
You know how superstitious people can be.
I was taught that they're tears from the spirit realm. You know, the spirits crying out. But I don't know why. Perhaps our parents were reaching out to us.
God.
Case in point, pro.
Fair enough. Anyway, there was something I had to say. Don't you think it's a little odd to walk around like that?
What? He looks at me, giving me the up and down. I don't know what he's talking about, and I'm confused. Hey, you know, look at yourself. You can do my wardrobe then if you like. You mean without holding your hand? You're right. Mind your own business, or what are you talking about? Well, if I remember something, we got mad. People got mad when we didn't flirt, so let's flirt. Without holding your hand, you're right. Bump.
What? No, that's not what I meant at all. I'm talking about the Blade of Exodus, you know? We need to cover it up so nobody sees it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's actually a good idea. We don't know how many eyes will be on us. It might help us get past the gate guard as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't take kindly to seeing that. They're skeptical enough of travelers from Valinor.
What? But we wouldn't do anything.
That's exactly the point.
People from Valinor would never harm Mazeo, true. But that's what makes it the perfect excuse for wrongdoers. Say you're from Valinor and get through without a second thought.
It's like people saying they're from Canada instead of America.
That's awful.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're keen on that trick. They'll end up questioning us no matter what we say.
Lovely!
So we need to cover up the blade.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good thing I brought this then.
She holds up the cloth that was the wrapping of the blade of the grand tree. It's large enough that it could wrap around myself like a cloak. I'm positive that they'll ask what's underneath, but it's worth a try.
What do we do if they don't buy it?
Well, I'll play some of my patented charm.
Oh, lovely.
We're doomed.
Footame and Valessa share a quick laugh while Pro fumes. Ulrich crosses his arms and starts to come up with a plan.
There's still a long way to go, so let's walk and talk. We're losing time, and that's the one thing we can't afford to lose.
Hell yeah. Immediately after, Valessa hands me the cloth from earlier. I knew that many people in Mazeo were part of the rebellion, but not everybody. The gate guards must be an example of those not under Domic's thumb, at least yet.
All right.
I wrapped the cloak around my back, fashioned the top into a hood. The blade of Exodus, as well as my identity, was sufficiently masked. With small hope the facade will work, we continue towards Mazeo. Alright, so let us talk to Ulrich. Let's talk to Ulrich. What can you tell me about Mazeo?
There's not much to say that you don't already know. It's a trading hub, providing goods and services to Valinor and Alarenthia. But there's a large piracy scene. providing the more illicit goods and services. The occupation was supposed to make things better, but it didn't. It only created more laws to break, and they haven't even cracked down on them. The mayor has slowly defected to our side after realizing the Triumvirate's true intent. They only wanted the spirit idol hidden underneath Mazeo. We're sure of it. The introduction of law and order to the city of Mazeo was justification enough for them. If they truly wanted to keep Mazeo in line, they'd be enforcing the laws they put in place.
What can you tell me about the mayor?
His name is Grizz, and he slowly defected to our side.
Ugh.
He's a good ally to have, especially with the strings he can pull. I doubt our plans would have gotten this far without his assistance.
How long has he been in charge of Mazeo?
He took part in the occupation, actually, and slowly realized he was wrong. So that would mean he's been in power for a little over 20 years. But we slowly got more in touch with him.
Ah. There are some lines that just aren't there.
As time passed, he realized he was being lied to. That's what the Triumvirate does. They tell you that you're getting what you want, but it's just a cover to use you. I guess he got fed up and realized that the rebellion could actually deliver.
Can he really be trusted?
I'd say so, yeah. This isn't a sudden defection or anything like that. It's been slowly happening over the last 20 years. I saw it all. He's truly sorry for what he's done, and now he wants redemption. I guess joining us will help him achieve that redemption. He's just in the unfortunate situation of playing both sides. But his allegiance is with us. I know it.
Goddamn, again, there are just some of the lines that just aren't there. What would the Triumvirate do if they found out?
They'd probably kill him. They don't really tolerate that. But it's not very often that somebody goes against their rule. They seem to have a sway over their subjects. It's hard to describe. Like, only now that he's away from them is his mind finally clear. As soon as they find out, I'm sure they'll make him a primary target. I'm willing to bet that they'll send Sovie and his apprentice to do the job.
Jesus. Anything I should know before meeting him?
He's really big. He can be intimidating, but his heart is in the right place. You don't really get the politician vibe from him. He looks more like a warrior, but that's kind of the point. The Triumvirate wanted a ruthless man in charge. Just don't judge him based on his appearance and you'll be fine. There's a friendly man underneath that hardened exterior, I promise. If it weren't for his efforts, the rebellion would barely be successful.
Damn. So the occupation didn't really make things better, huh?
No, and why would it? It was just a front because they wanted the spirit idol. Mazeo remains largely the same. Attention was just diverted to different areas. For example, trade bans just made the pirates focus on different commodities. They talked a big talk, but they didn't follow through. It was all a lie. For example, the rebellion formed effortlessly under their watchful eyes. Under competent rulers, that never should have happened. See what I'm getting at?
Do you know for certain that they were only after the idol?
How else do you explain the huge underground expedition? If they weren't here, there'd be no tunnels at all.
Oh, shit.
It seems to make sense. Thankfully, we found it first, so it's up to us to make the next move. I can't think of any other explanation, to be honest. So I'm definitely certain. The occupation of Mazeo was just a front for their true goal, the idol. However certain I am of that, I'm still clueless as to why they'd want it.
To destroy it, wasn't that the theory? Where did the rebellion stay before the underground tunnels?
We had a deal in place with the owner of Mazeo's Tavern.
Again with the tavern.
It's not unlike Peregrino, actually, almost existing as a front. But he didn't want to get caught, since things were coming to a head. So we decided to branch off and find ourselves a new home. That's when Domek set his eyes on the underground tunnels. He'd been going to them for a while to gather his mind in peace.
Who was in charge of Mazeo before the occupation?
Nobody. That's what made the occupation such a good excuse. Before they took over, it was a no man's land. Everybody was free. That had both upsides and downsides. so they capitalized on the downsides. They promised the people a better future, and they just ate it up. Fast forward over 20 years, and they're starting to realize it was a lie. It's helped us get some last-minute recruits, but we can't count on any more of those.
What will happen to Mazeo after we take down the Triumvirate?
Honestly, I'm not sure. We need to think about that when the war is over. We could revert it to the way things were, or come up with a new form of government. I'm sure that whatever happens, though, we can't fully eliminate piracy. Even if we lifted all trading bans, they just continue business as normal. That's what my advice would be. We should legitimize them, put them to work. It's easy to punish them, but there's a whole industry we could tap into.
That's a good plan. What is the current piracy scene like?
There are two pirate lords, Alex and Nada. They see eye to eye on most things, but disagree on others. Still, rather than fight each other, they've come to rule together.
Nice.
Some pirates prefer Alex, while others prefer Nada. It's not too complicated, but there's enough drama around piracy to deal with infighting, so they work together.
What can you tell me about Alex?
Piracy wasn't his first choice, but he really didn't have any say in the matter. None of the legitimate trading companies would hire him due to his troubled past. He basically takes whatever job he can get, living off of Nada's scraps. A lot of the local pirates follow after his ideals. He doesn't have delusions of grandeur. The goods he smuggles aren't too dangerous either. It's pretty close to an honest living. He just wants the trade bans lifted, to continue doing what he's doing and be accepted.
What can you tell me about Nada?
Now, she's a different story entirely. Nothing is off limits for her. She wants money and power. As long as the price is right, it doesn't matter what you want to smuggle, she's your girl. Her vision of the future is different than Alex's. One day she sees herself in charge of Mazeo. A lot of the pirates follow her because she promises them riches and power. Alex doesn't do that. He simply promises them a stable living with the hopes that one day it's made legal. But Nada doesn't care what's right or what's wrong, only about having the most power.
Damn.
I guess she thinks that if you have power, it doesn't matter what you do. While Alex wants to live an honest, legal life, Nada wants to be strong enough to do anything. If you have the whole world in your hand, much like the Triumvirate, no one will stop you.
Fuck. Which pirate lord do you support, Ulrich?
I've never had to think about it, so I don't really have an answer. But I'd probably have to go with Alex. Nada is a bit too ruthless for me. If she was in power, people would be under her thumb, rather than free.
Good read. Does the rebellion have any local enemies?
Not really. Our previous leader ensured that we stayed well hidden. Not many of the townspeople knew what we were doing, but even if they found out, they sided with us anyway.
There's so much shit. What can you tell me about the previous rebel leader?
His name was Salus, and he was a man of pure genius. I know we say that Dominic is a good strategist, but Salus, he was incredible. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't even be wearing that blade on your back. To be honest, if we win this war, it'll all be thanks to him. We have some work ahead of us, but he made it all possible. Not to discredit what you need to do, of course, but you get the idea.
How do you keep your operations so secret from everybody?
It's not that hard to be secretive, especially when you have to be. We never slipped up, precisely because we couldn't afford to. It's also a bit easier with your key players hiding behind positions of power. By that, I mean nobody would question Grizz or the Elder of Valinor. So because of that, him and Salus were able to meet and plan things without suspicion. Essentially, we had the perfect cover. After Salus passed, we just exercised discretion.
Are you absolutely certain that there are no spies within your ranks?
Yes.
Damn! That's the kind of unwavering certainty that is only on display at the beginning of a tragedy. If we were open with the locals, do you think they'd support us?
With the knowledge I currently possess, yes, I think they would. Over 20 years later, the Mazeans are starting to realize the Triumvirate was lying. They promised to turn Mazeo into a utopia. Just look around when we get there. It's not.
Ooh.
Their words seem to mean a lot to people. even if their actions don't follow suit. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before their promises fall on deaf ears. That is, if we don't take them down first. At least we will be keeping our promises.
Good luck. And that was just the first option of the dialogue tree. Now for the second one. Anything else you want to tell me about yourself?
Depends what you're wanting to know. Just give me a try.
Here we go. How old are you?
Old enough to be tired of answering that question.
Damn. What was your family like?
I consider Domek and the Rebellion to be my family. If you mean my birth family in Alarinthia, I couldn't tell you. We weren't very close, and I left for the mainland as soon as I could.
Would you go back to Alarinthia if you needed to?
Depends how much you're paying me.
What can you tell me about your relation to Sovie?
There isn't much to say. He always pops in to mess up our plans. Every time we battle the Honor Guard, he's right there with them. The Triumvirate barely leaves their castle, so he's almost like a stand-in for them. Basically, anytime we're against enemy forces, he's there. But you learn a lot about the man and the way he fights, so I know a lot about him. I've never seen anybody with such strong conviction. He truly believes he's doing the right thing.
Most evil people do. Are you seeing anybody, Ulrich?
No, and I think I'd like to keep it that way.
Oh shit. That is a smackdown. What are your thoughts on everything so far?
Forgive me if I ask you to be more specific.
More dialogue options. What do you think of Valessa?
I haven't been able to get a good read on her yet, which is rare for me. Normally I'm a good judge of character, but on her I'm drawing a blank. Not to say that's a bad thing, she carries herself admirably, but she's just closed off. At the end of the day, she won't cause me any concern, so that's a good thing. But I find myself wondering why she's so scared to open up. It's not like we'll hurt her. Some might say that's a personality trait on its own, but not me. I like to dig deeper.
What do you think of Fortame?
Honestly, he's a little much. Energy-wise, I mean. I used to be like him when I was younger, but it's better to conserve your energy. If you waste it without thought like he does, you won't have it when you actually need it.
No kidding.
And that's pretty much why I'm so calm all the time. I'm waiting to put my energy to good use. Normally that good use involves either a fight or some stiff drinks. You'll see. Once we get to Mazeo, there's a tavern that gets my highest recommendation.
What do you think of Pro?
We don't seem to get along, but he's actually one of my best friends. He just has this way of poking fun at everybody. It's his way of showing love. With a troubled past like his, I wouldn't be surprised if he thought that's what love is.
What about me?
You're good at following orders, I'll give you that much. I'm not sure if you're just clueless or full of national pride. Either way, it's a good thing. We can't have you full of doubt.
Damn.
It won't be much longer until you can kick back and relax. But when you do, it'll be as Alestia's hero. Think about that. You had a life of luxury just thrown into your lap. I'm jealous.
Tell me about your hobbies, Ulrich.
Well, spare time is pretty scarce these days. But I love a good drink. Nothing better than winding down a busy day with some ale, right? Aside from that, I love a good spar, but it's hard to find a challenge.
What do you like to drink?
I'm not picky. I just like the effects. The stronger stuff is more expensive, though, and I'm not loaded. Well, unless Domek decides to treat me, I guess. That's rare, though.
Any places in Mazeo you'd recommend?
There's a huge tavern tucked away in the town square. Best drinks money can buy, and like Peregrino, they have private rooms. Great business model, actually. When you've had too much, they can con you into a room. I'll point it out if I can. Might be a good idea to grab a drink before your training. Domek has a strict regimen set out for you, but I'll make sure you have fun. Don't worry.
Well, I appreciate that. Maybe we can grab a drink together during our downtime.
Of course. Now you're starting to grow on me. I didn't know you were into that, but I need a good drinking buddy. You can only drink so much alone before it starts to get sad.
Is it true that you're undefeated in combat?
Yes.
Damn. Well, that was it for his dialogue tree. Now let's talk.
So,
see these two
about
talk
that
to
charm.
Let's see these two talk to each other. Fuck.
Yeah?
When are you gonna start turning it on?
Damn!
It's been on this whole time.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
Foot in mouth.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
It means you think highly of your own ability. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a little too highly.
Why you gotta be a dick out of nowhere?
That's not true.
Oh really? Charm me then.
You mean right now?
Yeah, right here, right now. Shouldn't be too hard for someone like yourself.
Jesus.
Oh, well, just let me think. It takes a bit to get in the groove.
Get in the groove.
Oh, is that so? Sounds like an excuse to me.
It's not!
All right then, just hurry it up, bro. I'd tell you to take your time, but I don't want to die of old age.
Fuck! What the hell? You fuckers. Let's see what Grizz is up to. Yes, talk to Grizz. As Alex left his office, Grizz sat in contemplation. It was long before Lilith, his assistant, walked into the room. It was her duty to document and follow up with Grizz after every meeting.
So, how'd it go?
Damn!
As good as it could have, which isn't saying much.
What would you have me put on the record?
Negotiations to resume with more parties present. I think that about sums it up while I gather my bearings.
Very well. And what about off the record? What should I be expecting to come through that door?
Initially, I wanted them to sabotage the Triumvirate's ships, but that was very short-sighted of me. We'll need a naval army, so I tackled things from another angle, securing ships.
That shouldn't be too hard, right? The pirates have an enormous army.
Combined, yeah, but I can't win them all over. Alex and Nada will both be fighting to cut a deal with me, and I'm afraid no matter who we side with, things will change.
For who exactly?
Everybody. Lilith, can you send for Domek? He'll need to be present at the final negotiations.
Of course, sir.
I have a feeling he'll be bringing the seer too, Lilith. With everybody under one roof, we can finally make some progress. At the end of the day, Mazeo and the rebellion will be allied with the pirates.
Never thought I'd see the day. I guess we just have to choose who to side with.
That's why I need to see Domek as well. He'll be leading the final battle, so he needs to choose. I trust his decision and his sense of strategy more than you know.
Should he really be making choices that affect the future of Mazeo?
I think it's in our best interest. Besides, with what's coming, I don't think I'll be here much longer. I only hope that we can leave behind a peaceful future for Mazeo.
Damn, that's fucking ominous as shit. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything fucking else.
Wow!
Oh.
Mazeo looks so big, even from this far away. It's easily 5 times bigger than Valinor.
Yeah?
Try for 10, little one. Just stick by my side and you won't get lost. I don't feel like running around town trying to find you.
Again, I'm not little.
Yes, you are.
And trust me, I'll never get lost. I have a pretty good sense of direction.
In places you've never been?
Says the guy who got lost on his way home last week.
Oh, shit!
Valessa, it was dark. You'd have done the same thing in my situation.
Not true. I was home a few hours before you. Just take Ulrich up on his offer, Fortum. He's being nice. Who knows what the pirates would do to you if they found you alone?
Okay, and now you're scaring me.
Fucking hell.